A warm welcome to the Willows for tonight's Super League game between Salford City Reds and the Warrington Wolves. And lining up for the Salford City Reds this evening at fullback we have Mark Henry. On the wings we have Jody Broughton and Steve Tyra. Willie Tallau and Ashley Gibson are in the centres. Matty Smith and Jeremy Smith make up the half backs, with Ryan Boyle, Malcolm Holker and Lee Jewett on the front row. Ian Sibbett and Stuart Littler make up the second row, with Luke Swain at loose forward. On the bench we have Phil Lulai, Adam Sidlow, Luke Adamson and Mark Snide. And lining up for the Warrington Wolves this evening at fullback we have Richie Mathers. On the wings we have Chris Riley and Chris Hicks. Matt King and Ryan Atkins make up the centre partnership. At scrum half we have Lee Breers with Chris Bridge at standoff. The front row is Adrian Morley, Michael Monaghan and Ben Harrison. Second row of Louis Anderson and Vinnie Anderson, with Simon Griggs at loose forward. And the interchanges for the Warrington Wolves are Mickey Hyam, Lee Mitchell, Mike Cooper and David Solomona. And the Warrington supporters have travelled in numbers once again. The cup exploits are over for this week, and they're here watching the Warrington Wolves in Super League action against the Salford City Reds. And now there'll be a minute's silence in memory of Gary Purdham, who was shot in the tragic events in Cumbria this week. Gets us underway here at the Willows with this game between the Salford City Reds and the Warrington Wolves. And Warrington will be looking to get back on track with their Super League form after last week's heroics against the Bradford Bulls. We saw them one step closer to Wembley on a semi-final against the Catalan Dragons. Willie Tallau takes the ball forward for the Salford City Reds. Decent crowd here inside the Willows on this sunny Friday evening. Downpour before kick-off will make the pitch a little bit slippery, and I'm sure the ball will be hot to handle when players have it under wraps. And Warrington have broke forward immediately. Chris Bridge is looking to dive on this. And that's 6 to go, says the referee, Thaler. But that's a good start by Warrington, charging the kick down and almost gaining possession. And Warrington will look to make their mark early against a Salford side that's been buoyed recently with some decent results. But Warrington, of course, in a hot streak of form, which has seen them closer to Wembley again, as that ball's kicked and sliced off the boot of Malcolm Holker. Chris Riley chases this back and will turn and just try and straighten up Malcolm Holker. He's not been offered a playing contract for next season by the Salford City Reds. May opt to become a full-time coach here at the Willows, the club he served over many years. But Warrington will not have that in their minds, and they'll just look at the 2 points. Ben Harrison takes the ball up, drops it onto the inside to Simon Griggs, and he takes that in. Michael Monaghan, Lee Breers, and there's a gap already for Ryan Atkins as he goes down the left-hand side before he's wrapped up. Michael Monaghan goes himself, and that's a knock forward and knock back, and that will be scrum down, head and feet to the Salford City Reds. Again, this is a case of as many Warrington fans here in the stadium as Salford fans. Massive travelling support following Warrington round the country these days. Warrington fans singing about Wembley, and it must be at the forefront of the fans' minds, but it won't be at the players. As Matt King is in there defensively, he was absolutely magnificent last week at Odsall. The forefront of everything Warrington did defensively. Malcolm Alker goes from dummy half, but his opposite number, Michael Monaghan, is in there strongly. And Salford don't make him many yards here. Lee Jewett takes it in, for he's brought down, and they're up to the 40-metre mark. Ryan Boyle taking it in, the hard-working prop forward. Malcolm Alker drops it back to. And that ball's gone out. It's a good kick, you have to say. Found the corner. Matty Smith, the St Helens contracted player on loan here at the Salford City Reds, with a good deep kick. And that'll be scrum down, head and fade to the Warrington Wolves. Because Warrington will be hoping that players will be back for the semi-final. Slightly depleted at the moment, saying that both sides are here tonight. The likes of Carl Fitzpatrick and Stefan Ratchford sat in the stand for the Salford City Reds. Of course, Richie Myler denied the opportunity to come back to his old club. Griggs just drops it on the inside to Ben Harrison. It's Ben Westwood suspended this evening. And Lee Breers with a good deep kick. Oh, and that's a football style trap by Mark Henry. Almost offered a chance to the Warrington Wolves, chasing defence, but not quite. Michael Monaghan in with a tackle. Warrington very quickly with the defence. And they'll need to be tonight. Salford are full of confidence at the moment. But if confidence is what you're looking for, you can't look past the Warrington Wolves. Oh, that's a fantastic hit by Simon Griggs, forcing the knock-on on Luke Swain. Absolutely wonderful play by Griggs. In there, quick, in there, hard, and forcing the ball out. Scrum down, attacking scrum for the Warrington Wolves. Attacking towards the end where their supporters are ranked behind the goals. Griggs goes again, Lee Breers with a kick over the top. Looking for Hicks, but the kick goes into touch. It was a good idea, the ball just skipped on though. And Lee Breers looking for a gap in the Salford defence. But again, it's a defensive scrum for Salford. And Warrington will look to exploit this territory. And here comes Salford coming out of defence. Bringing the ball out of defence. It's a high tackle, and the referee has said that that's okay. And the referee was very kind there, but we'll put up with that. And Malcolm Alker looks to direct matters for Salford, but they're not making many yards. The ball's gone backwards though, says the referee, as Alker just scoots away. And high tackle, says the referee, and that's a penalty to the Salford City Reds. And Matty Smith will kick this into touch. The penalty for Salford, and this will take the attack into the Warrington half. And Warrington have just got to be careful here. It was a bright start by Warrington. Ryan Boyle taking it up, but he's met by a strong line of defence at the forefront, Salford-born Adrian Morley. Salford just looking for gaps in the Warrington ranks, but there's none there currently. Warrington are pretty strong in defensive lines like this, but Matty Smith looks to find one, and Luke Swain almost gets through before he's wrapped up. And Salford are only 12 metres away from the Warrington line. Malcolm Olker, Matty Smith, and the ball goes out to the left wing, looking for Jody Broughton, but the ball goes into touch, and that'll be scrummed down. Head and feet to the Warrington Wolves, and that's that particular attack over and done with. The Salford fans aren't happy, but it was as clear as day. That's a scrum down to Warrington. Matt King now bringing the ball out of defence. As I said, absolutely phenomenal last week at Odsal. Maybe at fault for one try, but his all-over defence was absolutely fantastic as Ryan Atkins takes that ball up. Michael Monaghan goes himself, and I'll look for an half gap, and that's a high tackle. Ex-Wire Ian Sibbett in with a swinging arm to the face of Richie Mathers, and that's as clear as day a penalty in favour of the Warrington Wolves, and Lee Breers will kick this into touch on a still evening in Salford. No wind, it's a very sticky, warm evening, and both teams may use their interchanges very well. Ball ripped out in the tackle, and that's another penalty. And this may kill Salford if they carry on. Giving away indiscretions, and Lee Breers may look to run this rather than kick it for touch, because Warrington are deep enough. And Louis Anderson takes the ball forward, and he gets over the advantage line before being tackled by Jeremy Smith and Stuart Littler. And Ben Harrison looks to pass, but then straightens up, but the ball pops out. And Salford pick the ball up in the form of Stuart Littler. The Warrington defence is quite aggressive. And knock on, says the referee. That's a scrum down, head and feet to the Salford City Reds. And a new stadium underway, being built near Barton. It's been the end of a long-running saga for the Salford club. And we've seen what a new stadium can do to the likes of Warrington. It's absolutely vital that Super League sides have a stadium that's worthy of the game being played, and certainly this Willow Stadium, full of history as it is, does not meet the mark. Well then, neither does some others, such as St Helens, obviously they're moving, and Wakefield. Same thing can't be said about the Warrington Wolves, as Salford bring the ball out of defence up to the 40-metre line. That's a 40-20 attempt by Matty Smith, and the ball goes over the top, and if that kicks on, that could be a 40-20, but it's picked up well by Richie Mathers, and he feints a pass to Chris Riley, and he's dumped 15 metres away from his own try line. Chris Riley now looking to dance his way through the Salford defence, but he can't make his way past Stuart Littler and Jeremy Smith as the ball comes towards the left-hand side, and Ryan Atkins is dumped into touch. Steve Tyrer with a tackle. Ryan Atkins just losing his footing and sliding into touch. Maybe that's the first sign that the wet weather prior to kick-off is just making a difference here. And it's still 0-0 on the scoreboard. And scrum down to Salford. Jeremy Smith will feed the scrum, and they're only 35 metres away as Matty Smith on the inside to Willie Talau. Final season here at the Salford club as Luke Swain takes the ball forward. He's tackled heavily by Matt King. Ryan Boyle. Jeremy Smith just comes back onto the inside to Matty Smith. Mark Henry supporting the attack from fullback. Supplementary fullback today, Mark Henry, in the place of Carl Fitzpatrick, who's obviously injured for today's match. Salford going forward through the guise of Ryan Boyle, and he just drops the ball back on the inside. Looks like a planned move. Oh, Salford keeping the ball alive, and the ball kicked over looking for Steve Tyrer, and he can't keep the ball in play. He scored a famous try here against Hull FC, where he dropped the ball back into play from over the touchline, but he couldn't do it then. And Warrington have diffused that situation. A tight and attritional start here at the Willows. And Warrington just coming out of defence with Brian Atkins. He looked for a little gap inside the Salford defence, but he couldn't find it. And Michael Monaghan now will take the ball up from dummy half. Oh, and almost a juggle by Simon Griggs. He takes the ball in. Michael Monaghan now will go himself and passes to Ben Harrison. Ben Harrison falls off one tackle, but he's brought down. He's had a penalty, no, says the referee. Adrian Morley with a cut to his head that he got last week at Odsall. And Michael Monaghan just picking up the intensity in the play, and the ball kicked over the top, but it's taken by Jody Broughton, the wingman. Sensed the danger, he came on the inside. That's good defence by Warrington, just lifting the man back. A very, very tight, tense start to this game. No quarter given by either side as Broughton takes the ball forward. Free dumped by Matt King. Good defence by Warrington, not allowing Salford any movement in the centre part of the field. Malcolm Olker looking to go himself, but the defence again is excellent, and that's the 5th tackle, and they've not made up to the 40-metre line. This will be a kick downfield by Matty Smith, and it's charged down again, and if they can get the ball in hand, and they can't. Well, the ball's gone backwards, says the referee. Oh, it's gone forward, says the referee, and that's a scrum down, head and feed to the Salford City Reds, and that's a contentious decision. Did the ball go backwards? The referee claiming it didn't, and relief for Salford. That's twice that their kicks have been charged down, and you think that they're not going to get away with that much longer. And Jeremy Smith will feed this scrum. Sibbett bringing the ball out. Luke Swain keeping the ball alive, and that ball's come out. Warrington regained possession just 32 metres away from the Salford line. Michael Monaghan. Oh, and the ball's come loose. Louis Anderson picks up possession. Lead drives forward to just 15 metres away. Opportunity here for the Warrington side as Simon Griggs just slips again on the turf, and I think the wetness on top of the surface is making a difference here. Lee Breers, long pass out to Chris Bridge. Chris Bridge to Richie Mathers, room on the outside. Chris Hicks comes back on the inside. Try for the Warrington Wolves. Sheer weight of numbers. The ball came out to the right-hand side, and Chris Hicks has gone in for the first try of the evening. Unsuccessful conversion by Chris Bridge. 4 points to 0 here at the Willows. Try by Chris Hicks. There was no stopping him as the ball came out to the right-hand side. Richie Mathers did really well to find the flying Aussie wingman, and there was no defence in place that could stop Chris Hicks from going over for the first try of the evening, and that'll be a relief for the Warrington Wolves. They've not found it all their own way here. As Ryan Atkins takes the ball in. Ben Harrison strongly taking the ball forward. He's had a good season, Ben Harrison, maybe an unsung hero for the Warrington side, as Lee Breers will kick this high and look for his teammates. That's good play actually by Jody Broughton, just taking the ball in. Willie Talau, and is that a penalty? No, says the referee. Said the Warrington markers were straight. Mark Henry takes the ball forward. Luke Swain, who's forward, taking the ball in. One up rugby by Salford. Ryan Boyle. And again, good defence by Warrington, not allowing any breaks for the Salford side. And Matty Smith will kick this, almost charged down again. It's good defence this by Warrington. Mathers just knocks the ball up and takes it himself and sees a gap. Oh, and almost Chris Riley was on his shoulder if he could have found him, and that ball comes to Ben Harrison. Ryan Atkins takes the ball up and just comes in field, but he's met by 4 Salford tacklers. Stuart Littler amongst them all, and that's a slight knock on by Lee Breers. It was a poor play, the ball, to be honest. It just shot the ball back. And Lee Breers found it difficult to take that ball in. And that'll be a relieving scrum for the Salford City Reds as Jeremy Smith feeds that scrum, and the ball comes out. Steve Tyra taking the ball in. Mark Henry just supplementing the attack. Ball comes towards the right-hand side. Mike Cooper's on the field for Warrington. As Warrington look to use their interchange as well, but Malcolm Olker almost finding a half break. And the ball comes out towards the left-hand side of Matty Smith, and he just comes back in play. Matty Smith, who was instrumental in the defeat of St Helens here. 5th tackle, Willie Talau with a little dink over the top, but poor kick really, and Richie Mathers was in the right place to snaffle that ball up. A penalty for the Warrington Wolves. Grab round the neck by Luke Swains as the referee, and that'll be a defence relieving penalty for the Warrington team. The floodlights on here at the Willows, even though it's a bright evening. Oh, and that's a good break forward by Vinnie Anderson, but he's tackled unfairly. High tackle. Another penalty. And Lee Brayers will take the opportunity to kick this deep. And this will be a great attacking position for Warrington. It's Mike Cooper running strongly, takes the ball up over the 10-metre line. Michael Monaghan comes towards the right-hand side. The ball drops on the inside and knocked forward by Chris Bridge, and that will be scrum down, head and feed to the Salford City Reds. Missed opportunity for Warrington there. 2 penalties on the run from the Salford side, and Warrington had found good position inside the Salford City Reds half. And Salford now bringing the ball out of defence with Stuart Littler, veteran centre for the Salford City Reds. And Louis Anderson, one of his trademark tackles where he comes out the line. Sometimes he doesn't get hold of the man though. Ryan Boyle taking the ball forward, met by Vinnie Anderson and Matt King. Hair Bear bunch. Chris Riley drops back, just anticipating the kick over. Malcolm Olker with a forward-looking pass to Stuart Littler. That's a 5th tackle, still inside their own half, Salford. Olker with a kick over the top. Chris Riley collects this and runs straight forward. Running at Ashley Gibson and Luke Swain. Ryan Atkins just looking for a gap in the Salford defence that isn't there. Richie Mathers clapping his hands in, asking for the game to quicken up. Louis Anderson just holds one off before being tackled near halfway. Still tackles in the bag here. Michael Monaghan with a kick over the top, just exploiting the gap that's there. Mark Henry, not your regular fullback. He comes attacking towards the Warrington line, but that's good defence. And Chris Bridge in there with a tackle. Lee Breers in with a strong hit. You see Tyra just trying to win the penalty by attacking the first man, saying that the defence was split, but that wasn't the case. Lulai taking the ball up to the 30-metre line. Salford are not making great yardage when they have the ball in hand. Luke Swain trying to make that difference, but the ball pops out and Adrian Morley picks it up. And Warrington have another attacking opportunity, and can Warrington this time capitalise on the errors by the Salford side? Matt King almost through. Salford fans appealing for something, I'm not quite sure. Matt King just looked like he's got a knocking back play. Holding down there, surely. Referee says play on. Lee Breers. Richie Mathers. Louis Anderson. Louis Anderson just straightening up. Maybe trying to draw the men in, but doesn't. It's a real opportunity, 8 metres away from the Salford City Reds line. Richie Mathers comes back the blind side and looks to go himself, and Richie Mathers will score for Warrington. Really good try. Richie Mathers came blindside, found a little gap, and eventually got the ball down in the left-hand corner. Unsuccessful conversion by Chris Bridge, 8 points to 0. Here at the Willows, Richie Mathers with a superb solo effort. And I've said before, he stepped up to the mark since it was announced that Brett Hodgson is going to come to the Halliwell Jones from the Huddersfield Giants. Richie Mathers, whose future at Warrington was certainly under the microscope as Warrington break down the right-hand side with Vinnie Anderson, but there's a tackle there. Matt King takes the ball up. Well, Richie Mathers has reacted superbly to that transfer, and he's probably playing the best attacking football of his career at Warrington as Adrian Morley takes the ball forward, and that ball's come out, and that'll be a knock-on. Adrian Morley just trying to get the ball out there, and the ball just coming free from his grasp. Scrum down head and feet to the Salford City Reds. It's been a tight game, really. Warrington have been the better of the two sides for certain, and have looked the more dangerous in the attacking part of the field. Salford really have offered nothing in the final third of the field as Phil Lulai takes the ball up to the halfway line. Malcolm Olker, ever the catalyst, that looks forward. Given. As Salford bring the ball forward. Well, that's a great hit by Louis Anderson on Luke Adamson. Well, that's a good break by Jeremy Smith. He had no support, and Matty Smith eventually takes control of the ball. As Salford just kicked the ball over the top, and there's a chance here. And the ball comes to Mark Henry, and Mark Henry scores. Finally, Salford offers something, kick over the top, and Mark Henry gathers in and goes in for the Salford City Reds. Steve Tyra with a successful conversion for Salford, 6 points to 8, and it's game on here at the Willows. And goal kicking can be an important facet of the game, and Warrington are not kicking their goals currently, which is something which will concern head coach Tony Smith. Of that I have no doubt. To be fair, Salford are missing their regular goal kicker in Daniel Holdsworth. They kicked that one. It was a decent conversion by Tyra. Oh, and Louis Anderson flying out the line at every opportunity, but if he does that, he's got to get hold of someone. Well, that ball's come out, and that'll be a knock on. Well, it'll be scrum down, head and feed. To the Warrington Wolves. Warrington have a good chance here. Maybe they can make another breakthrough as Chris Riley takes the ball forward. Strongly pushed back though, and could that be a penalty? No. Lee Breers picks the ball up from dummy half, pass it on the inside to Mike Cooper. Cooper takes it up, 33 metres away from the Salford City Reds try line. Michael Monaghan. David Solomona to Ryan Atkins. Ryan Atkins looks to straighten up, but he can't get away. Luke Adamson. That ball's come out, knock on, says the referee. And it's error-ridden at the moment, this game. Scrum down, head and feet to the Salford City Reds. And neither coach will be particularly happy with the side's work where they got the ball in hand at the moment. There's too many errors. Littler just looking to dance through, but he's wrapped up by Adrian Morley. So they've come together many a time on a rugby field. Vinnie Anderson in, just trying to dislodge the ball, Vinnie Anderson, as he noticed that Adam Sidlow couldn't quite have the ball in his grasp as Phil Lulai takes the ball forward. Malcolm Olker at dummy half. Into Luke Swain, and he takes the ball up over the 40. Olker again. The ball will be kicked deep, trying to split the fullback and wingman, but he doesn't, and he just finds Chris Hicks. Try scorer for the Warrington Wolves this evening, Hicks, as he takes the ball up over the 30. David Solomona at dummy half. Matt King looking for possession, looking for the ball, looking to try and make a difference for the Warrington Wolves as we approach half-time here at the Willows. Solomona takes the ball in, and he brilliantly gets the ball out. Matt King, the recipient of that pass. Fantastic play by the big man. Breers, Louis Anderson, Ryan Atkins to Chris Riley. Chris Riley, pass on the inside, pass to Richie Madders. Madders with his second try. Wonderful rugby league by the Warrington Wolves. Chris Riley with a break down the left-hand side. Found Richie Mathers for his second try of the evening. Conversion by Chris Bridge, 14 points to 6 now. And that's more like it for the Warrington Wolves. Oh, and there's a high shot there from Chris Riley. Jeremy Smith it was with a high shot, and he apologised straight away to the Warrington wingman who took his hand. The referee still having a word and calls Malcolm Olker in for an official word. And any more, and someone will be going to the bin. Jeremy Smith immediately knew what he'd done there, to be fair to him. And Lee Breers will kick this into touch. And another platform is set for the Warrington Wolves to come out of defence with a ball in hand. And maybe just put this game away from the Salford City Reds as we approach half-time. Another try. If Warrington went in 20 points to 6, you would think that they'd be heavy favourites then to win this game and win it comfortably. It's not been easy in this first half, but Warrington have been comfortably the better side. Michael Monaghan just taking the ball forward. He's wrapped up by Adam Sidlow and Phil Lulai. Mickey Hyam, at dummy half, takes the ball forward. Didn't see him sneak on. Looking for a penalty, looking to split the markers, but the referee said that that's okay. Lee Breers, David Solomona. Solomona with a dink through and looking for the run of Chris Riley, but he can't quite find his man, and scrum down head and feet to the Salford City Reds, and the Warrington fans sing the praises of David Solomona once more, a real favourite of the South Stand at the Halliwell Jones. Decided to ditch the headgear now he was wearing at the start of the season. Sidlow takes the ball forward, 3 tacklers in. Warrington will look to keep Salford down here. Lulai looking to barge his way through, but he can't. He's up to the 20-metre line. He's looking for a penalty. He gets the penalty. Hand in the ruck against Mickey Hyam. Relieving penalty for the Salford side. Matty Smith, St Helens man, kicks his ball towards the right-hand touchline and makes it up to halfway. Good kick by the diminutive halfback. Malcolm Olker to Jeremy Smith. Adam Sidlow. He's taken down dead on halfway. Salford looking to hit back before the break here. Malcolm Olker directing proceedings. Tries to find Mark Henry, try scorer for the Salford side. A one and only try that they've scored this evening. Willie Talau, great servant to rugby league, of course. Willie Talau, the ex-St Helens centre. Matty Smith to Phil Lulai, Luke Swain, Luke Adamson, but that's good defence by Warrington. David Solomona trying to reef the ball out, but doesn't quite make it. But it's a good platform this for Salford. Matty Smith, Adam Sidlow, defence is good, but they've got numbers here. Oh, and Jeremy Smith just falls again. The wetness on the surface, I think, playing tricks with the players. So it looks a beautiful evening, but it was a down 4 before kick-off. Michael Monaghan will dive on this, take the tackle correct. Great work by the Aussie hooker. And Vinnie Anderson just takes the ball up to halfway. Michael Monaghan just taking a knock. Let's hope he's going to be okay. I'm sure he will be, as Chris Bridge just drives his way through and takes 2 Salford players with him. Mickey Hyam does what he does best and goes from dummy half and almost finds a break. It's a real opportunity for the Warrington side. Lee Breers. Oh, Mitchie Mather's ball goes backwards though. Ryan Atkins collects the ball. Takes the tackle from Ashley Gibson. And this will be 5th and last. Lee Breers has the ball. He'll kick this towards the right-hand side, too deep, you would think. Jody Broughton takes the ball in, and he runs the ball back, looking for a bit of space to run in, but he can't find it. And he's brought down on the 10-metre line. Good position for Warrington, this. Salford just looking to quicken the game up, though, to be fair to them. And Mark Henry makes it up to the 20-metre line. Just trying to catch the Warrington side out here. Oh, and they get the ball out the back door, but the ball goes backwards. Luke Adamson finds its way to Ashley Gibson, and he almost gets dragged into touch, but he doesn't. Salford just trying to play a little bit more expansively, and that's the 5th tackle. And they're still only up to the 40-metre line. Malcolm Olker goes brown side though. Gibson, oh, and that ball's not forward. And Ryan Atkins. What's the referee come up with here? It's a Salford ball, I think. Jeremy Smith will feed this scrum when Mr. Taylor is happy and he has the time back on. And Warrington just looking to be strong in defence here as we approach the half-time break. Phil Lulai taking the ball forward. He's gone through a lot of work since he's been on. Oh, and that's a mistake by Matty Smith, and there goes Vinnie Anderson, and can he make it the whole way? He finds Chris Bridge. Chris Bridge evades one tackle, comes back on the inside. He'll eventually be tackled, but surely Warrington will have numbers here. And surely Warrington will find a try. Matt King looks to break through. Penalty, and that doesn't help Warrington at all. That does not help Warrington in the slightest. They had 4 people to 1 on the outside, on the left-hand side. If that game had been allowed to continue, Warrington would have scored in the corner. And that's where the laws are an ass sometimes. Somebody's going to have to go to the bin here. But the referee just keeps giving penalties. And they're going to kick for goal at Warrington. And Chris Bridge will kick this penalty through the sticks. 16 points to 6 in favour of the Warrington Wolves at half-time. 2 tries by Richie Mathers and a try by Chris Hicks. The only reply, a try by Mark Henry. And Warrington have a clear lead as we go into the second half. Salford City Reds get us underway in this second half as they attack towards the end where the Warrington Wolves fans are, and Warrington Wolves will attack the Willows end of the ground as Warrington will look to drive their advantage home in this second half. 16 points to 6 in favour of the Warrington Wolves. Just about a fair reflection, I think, on the attacking intent of both sides. Salford only a couple of forays inside the Warrington half. Warrington, whilst not being at the very, very best this evening, have been comfortably the better side. Mike Cooper takes this ball up, attacks towards the 40-metre line. Of course, Warrington will look to score the first try in this half as the ball's kicked from inside the 40, looking for a 40-20, but Jody Broughton had dropped deep, and Mark Henry picks this ball up and runs towards a Warrington defence, and he's knocked back strongly by Chris Bridge and Vinnie Anderson. Good defence by Warrington. Malka from dummy half finds Phil Lulai. Phil Lulai taking the fight to the Warrington Wolves. It's very important for Salford that they get the first try of the second half here at the Willows. That ball come out? No, well done by Adam Sidlow. He almost dropped that ball. But they're still not inside Warrington territory here, Salford. Jeremy Smith kicks this ball over the top, and that ball skips up. Picked up by Chris Hicks, and he will strongly run the ball out of defence, looking for any gap that may appear in the Salford City Reds ranks as Matty Smith makes the tackle. Vinnie Anderson takes the ball in. Adam Sidlow with a tackle. Warrington will look to play with a quicker intensity in this half. It wasn't the quickest of attacking games in the first half, and I'm sure Tony Smith will have made that point to his charge. It's Solomona, finds Ryan Atkins. Oh, and Ryan Atkins looks to find Chris Riley. The ball goes behind the flying wingman. It was good enterprise in rugby league by Warrington, just not quite the finish there, which would have led to a try. Chris Riley would have got in unopposed, but the ball was behind him. Scrum down, head and feet to the Salford City Reds on the 40-metre line. Willie Talau takes the ball in. Adrian Morley with the tackle. Morley, who's been on every minute of this game so far. Stuart Littler in, dumped onto his backside. Malka with Jeremy Smith, Phil Lulai. Fans' favourite here, Phil Lulai. Hard working, prop forward. Malka with a little dink over the top, looking for the runners on the right-hand side, but the ball drifts into touch. And that will be scrum down, head and feet to the Warrington Wolves. As the sun goes down here in Greater Manchester. Another season here, Salford, before they move to their new stadium. At the start of the 2012 season. Warrington have had mixed fortunes here over the years, and it may be a good thing for Warrington that Salford won't be playing here much. It's a postage stamp of a ground here at the Willows, can put people off. It's not quite the expansive grounds that people are used to playing on these days, with the sloping roofs inside the dressing room, as Ryan Atkins takes the ball up to the halfway line. Michael Monaghan goes from dummy half, a little dink over the top, kicked over by Lee Breers. That's a terrible tackle, and I think even though Mickey Iron may pass on the inside, I've got a funny feeling this will be a penalty, and it could very well be a sin binning, if not a sending off. That was an absolutely terrible tackle. Ben Thaler has given the penalty, and we'll see what he does, because that was cynical. And it was Phil Lulai. Was it? No. Referee is picking someone else out. It was Mark Henry who the referee has picked out. And he's just going to give him a warning, you can tell, and that's, to be honest, he's got away with that as Mark Henry. Quite why the Salford fans are booing Lee Breers, I'm not quite sure. That was cynical rugby league, and Mark Henry's a lucky man not to be spending 10 minutes at least sat on the sidelines watching this match. Anyway, it's play on, and Michael Monaghan drops it on the inside to David Solomon, and let's hope this doesn't boil over now, which it could do. Ball comes out towards the right hand side. Mike Cooper, the ball drops out from Cooper's grasp, and Mark Henry takes that ball forward. Adrian Morley in strongly. Good tackling by Warrington, just restricting Salford to a few metres here. Adam Sidlow takes the ball forward, for he's tackled by three Warrington players, Adrian Morley amongst them, leading by example, the skipper. Malcolm Olker drops the ball to Phil Lulai. He spots a gap, almost makes it through before he's brought down on the 40-metre line, still in Salford territory. Come towards the left-hand side, it'll be kicked over the top by Matty Smith. Straight down the throat of Chris Riley, drops it on the inside to Richie Mathers. Richie Mathers, of course, on a hat-trick this evening. Two good tries by the Warrington fullback. Oh, and Chris Riley has been spotted. Willie Talau in strongly with a tackle. Matt King takes the ball up. Salford are up in the intensity in defence, just trying to force the error here. They have to do something, Salford. 10 points down on the scoreboard. 40-20 attempt by Michael Monaghan. Oh, and it's drifted straight out. And that's a mistake by Michael Monaghan, the ball just drifting out. 40-20 attempt, and it was on. And this is a chance for Salford, well, they probably didn't think was coming. Willie Talau now just straightens up, tries to force his way through Warrington, trying to pull the man into touch, but they can't quite make it. Chris Bridge has taken a knock. Let's hope he's okay. Chris Bridge, of course, who currently is taking the kicks. So we'll see what happens here. Luke Swain, a delayed pass to Mark Henry. Mark Henry tries to find a way through but can't, for he's brought down. Salford come towards the left-hand side again. Adam Sidlow, he comes back into traffic, falls off one tackle. Ball knocked down, and that'll be scrum down, head and feet to the Salford City Reds. And to make this a competitive game, you would think Salford would need to score now. Chris Bridge looks okay. He drops back into play. Salford now only 15 metres away, but a knock on, and Warrington pick possession up with David Solomona, and it takes two Salford players taking a ride on the back of David Solomona before they can bring him down. That's 6 to go. Every Salford player's offside there if the referee deems fit, but he doesn't, obviously. Attacking on the left-hand side with Mike Cooper. There's space for Cooper as us Warrington fans find their voices once more. Ben Harrison takes it up to the 30-metre line. Good chance here for the Warrington side. Bridge, kick over the top. Looking for the wingman, ball will skip into touch. Good idea. The ball just taking the wrong bounce. Stillness descends across the Willows. You can't see anything beyond a Warrington victory here, but it's not been straightforward. 30 minutes to play, 31 minutes to play here. Salford, of course, smarting from the 60-odd points put past them at the Murrayfield Magic weekend by the Warrington Wolves. All intents and purposes, this is the derby for Warrington in Super League. I think that's more because St Helens and Wigan have their own derby between each other. So Salford is picked out as the derby fixture for the Warrington side. Of course, if Widnes were up, that would be a different matter. Richie Mathers attacking the Salford line of defence, 40 metres away from his own line. Chris Hicks doing the hard yards. We're up to the halfway line, Warrington. So good chance here. Mickey Hyam just looks for a gap underneath, Kyle Eastman style, trying to force his way under the tackle. Michael Monaghan to Ben Harrison. A good game, Ben Harrison. Just drops the ball backwards. Knock on though, the referee, and there's a lot of mistakes in this game. And I think this is a case of just getting through this match and taking the 2 points down the M62, back to the Halliwell Jones. Scrum down for the Salford City Reds, 30 metres away from their own line. Malcolm Olker to Adam Sidlow. Good line of defence though, quick up Warrington. Have been all evening, the defence has been pretty solid. Not really given any gaps for the Salford side to exploit. Lee Mitchell on the field. Salford just trying to find a bit of yardage, but Mark King in heavily with a tackle. Good defence. Lee Mitchell following it up. Malcolm Olker drops the ball on the inside, but that's good defence by Warrington, you know. A lot's made of Warrington's attacking ability, but defence wins matches. Matty Smith kicks that ball over the top, sliced off his right foot, but that's a great kick. And I think you'll find that that's a 40-20. And Salford are piling the pressure on here. Matty Smith with a fantastic kiss. Drifted over the top of the defence. It's a good attacking opportunity for Salford. If they can score here, it is game on, Mark Henry. Brings the ball onto the inside, Adam Sidlow, charging down the middle. What could Salford come up with here? You really do think they need to score. Jeremy Smith just upping the speed and just trying to find a way through. Warrington just closing off all opportunities. Deeper to Matty Smith. Luke Swain to Willie Talau. Jody Broughton. Broughton scores. Ball finds its way out to the left-hand side and Jody Broughton barges through a couple of tackles to touchdown for the Salford City Reds. .25 minutes to go, 10 points to 16 in favour of the Wolves, and it's game on. A try that Warrington wouldn't like to concede. It was a good finish by Jody Broughton, but weak tackling really on the right-hand side of the Wolves' defence. And Warrington have a fight on their hands here. Salford with that 40-20, making Warrington pay. And Warrington just looking slightly lethargic at the moment, whether the cup exploits last week has taken out of them. Salford, of course, had a weekend off, and maybe they look a little bit more fresh. Matty Smith with another attempt at a 40-20, but this time Chris Riley had dropped back and gets his hands on the football, and he runs straight before he's met by Malcolm Olker. As I mentioned earlier, Olker offered a coaching role here at Salford next season, and you would think that he's going to make a great coach as a Salford City Red skipper. Great servant to the Salford club and to Rugby League. Unlucky not to win more international honours as Warrington attack down the left-hand side, just looking to pick the pace up. Louis Anderson still tackles left. They go blindside with Michael Monaghan. Come back on the inside to Louis Anderson. That's the fifth tackle, 25 metres away from the try line. Again down the blind side. Breers with a slice kick over the top, and that ball will skip on, and Warrington will pick up where they left off in defence, with Salford in and around a 30-metre line. And if Salford score next, it really is game on. The one converted try away and levelling it up here at the Willows. Salford, who've been famed for their wins under the sky cameras. Poor tackle. And Michael Monaghan, and clear penalty for the referee to give. Swinging arm. And Salford have a little bit of momentum here, and Warrington need to be very careful as Matty Smith kicks that ball deep into the Warrington half. Ball comes towards the left-hand side. Good tackle though. Lee Mitchell in strongly as the shed here at Salford look to get behind their side as Warrington drive back. A Salford man, great defence, but a penalty is given. They're lifting the man up. I'm not sure that's correct as the ball is kicked into touch by Matty Smith, and this is a good attacking option for Salford. Matty Smith looking to direct the attacking option. Lee Mitchell drives the ball in. Salford attacking down the right-hand side. Jeremy Smith. And Salford are really testing the Wolves here. This is not the game that Warrington were expecting. He comes down towards the right-hand side. Matty Smith tries to fall off the tackle, but Chris Bridge wraps him up. Malcolm Olker comes in field. Ball dropped back to Mark Henry. Oh, and that's another high attempt. But Salford play on. They're coming down towards the right-hand touchline. Penalty again, says the referee. High shot, says the referee. Malcolm Olker just drops the ball back a yard. And Salford will have an attacking position. As they take the ball up to the 10-metre line. They're only 10 metres away from the Warrington Wolves line here with 21 minutes remaining. Very much an open contest. Either side could win this. Well, not played the ball properly, and that's a real mistake. Matty Smith is going absolutely bonkers in backfield. And now he just tries to get behind his teammates, telling them to calm down. And that was an opportunity missed by Salford. And the Warrington fans suddenly start to get behind the side again. But it's a defensive position, and Warrington will do well to come out of this. They need to do the hard yard to bring the ball out of defence with a good kicking game. The attack down the left-hand side. Salford defence is charged at the moment. They sniff a famous victory here against Warrington. And they're really coming out of defence strong. The ball goes back and half. Salford regained possession, yes they have. Will it allow? And they're right up for this now. Salford, and the hits are going in from both sides as Warrington respond to that bit of pressure. Well, they're only 7 or 8 metres away from the Warrington line, Salford. Matty Smith. Henry, Talau. Talau looks to skip on the inside, pushes Matt King off, which is no mean feat. And Salford are 2 metres away. Oh, that's a poor pass. Matty Smith drops it to Ian Sibbett. Ian Sibbett takes the ball up to 9 metres away. 5th tackle. Be a kick through. Surely Mark Henry's missed a trick there. It's hand over. Poor play by the fullback from the Salford City Reds. Not sure what he was thinking as Ben Harrison takes the ball out of defence. Just trying to catch the Salford side unawares. They need to respond here, Warrington. That ball's come out. Knock on, play on, knock on. That'll be first knock on. Error-ridden start to this game, second half, and .18.5 minutes remaining here at the Willows, and it really is anyone's game there for the taking. Salford are piling the pressure on, but they need reward if they're going to come away with a victory. Warrington really do need to respond defensively. They're standing off the Salford side though. These are concerning moments for Tony Smith. Salford 10 metres away. Matty Smith to Mark Henry, uses his man Mark Henry, that's a penalty. And you could see that coming all day long. And Warrington have got out of jail there as the ball is kicked towards the media centre. It's actually caught quite well by Alan Hunt next to us. Not lost it, I see. Ex-Warrington, of course, Alan Hunt. As Michael Monaghan attacks down the middle of the field, Salford just looking to knock Warrington off their guard here. Warrington looking to hit back after the last 10 minutes, which has been had a few hairy moments, you have to say, but Warrington obviously can hurt sides, and they will hope, as we will hope, that Warrington will get the next try and put a bridge between them and the Salford City Reds. Simon Griggs takes the ball up 25 metres out, 5th tackle. Ball comes towards the right hand side. Lee Breers with a drop goal, and that's a measure of where Warrington see themselves. Sensible rugby league by Lee Breers. That makes it difficult for Salford. They have to score twice now. A converted try is not enough. But it's a measure of respect, to be fair. Vinnie Anderson attacking strongly up to the 40-metre line. Good running by the centre. Adrian Morley taking up against his hometown club. Up over the halfway line. Salford born, play for Eccles. Warrington looking to finish this game off now. Another try here would certainly see Warrington get over the finish line. Michael Monaghan just looks for a half gap, and that's the 5th tackle, 25 metres out. Lee Breers kicking his eye towards the right-hand side, looking for Matt King. The ball's not back. That's offside, is it? Referee says play on, 6 to go. Has Simon Griggs seen that? Lee Mitchell, as he just takes the tackle, sensible play by the prop forward. Knock on. Mistake by Lee Mitchell. Somebody needs to get over to him and just get his head up. But a penalty is given by the referee, obviously, because there was offsides and all sorts in that, as Adrian Morley tries to batter his way through. He makes to 5 metres away. Real chance here for Warrington to put this game to bed. Chris Bridge jinks in and out. Makes it to a metre away. Ball comes towards the right-hand side. Lee Breers looks to dance. Bridge looking for a gap. Just charges towards the right-hand side. The ball's come out. It's good defence by Salford. Matty Smith with a strong tackle. Just dislodging the ball. And it's still game on here. 14 minutes remaining. 10 points to 17. Salford City Reds still in this. The Lee Breers drop goal though makes it difficult for them. Well, the Warrington fans cannot sit easy at the moment. Well, let's hope that the 2 points will go to the Halliwell Jones as Salford bringing the ball out of defence with Stuart Littler. He's met by Louis Anderson and Simon Griggs. Well, Malcolm Olker just looking to find a runner on the inside, trying to drop the ball off, couldn't find anyone. Salford are still deep in their own territory. Little jink over the top, it's good play. Drop back onto the inside to Gibson, ball comes out. Warrington will pick this ball up. And I thought there was going to be an half break then, and it's a knock on. The referee will say there's a scrum down. Scrum down, head and feet to the Warrington Wolves. As the game drifts towards a finish here. Just 12.5 minutes remaining. 17 points to 10 in favour of Warrington. Adrian Morley takes the ball up to the 40 metre. Inside Salford territory. Michael Monaghan. Do Warrington have enough in the tank here just to finish this off? Louis Anderson taking the ball up to 20 metres away. Well, that ball's drifted by Lee Breers. Oh, and Ryan Atkins maybe should have passed that, but he's coming on the inside. Nobody can get hold of him. And eventually, he's wrapped up 7 metres away. Michael Monaghan goes himself, and that's the 5th tackle. What will Warrington do here? Ball comes back to Breers. Breers with a direct kick across, but that ball goes out on over the in-goal area. Adding over to the Salford City Reds. Not the greatest of kicks from Lee Breers. Salford are still in this. Warrington will want to put it to bed as quickly as they can. Will it allow? But a strong game for Salford. Up to the 30 metre line inside Salford territory. Malcolm Olker with another 40-20 attempt. And that ball drifts towards the touchline. And it's a knock-on, says the referee, and that's as good as a 40-20. Chris Riley with the error. And these are nervy moments for the Warrington team. Scrum down, head and feet to the Salford City Reds, just 20 metres away from the Warrington line, and if Salford score now, it sets up a really nervy finish. And can Warrington hold out here? Mark Henry. Warrington do need that travelling support now to get behind them as they are. Ian Sibbett takes the ball in. Olker. Back to Smith. And the ball comes out towards the right-hand side. The ball's going to go into touch, and that's a massive mistake. Salford have had their chances here, but they haven't been able to take them. Scrum down for the Warrington Wolves as we enter the last 10 minutes. Scrum being pushed rugby union style by Salford, just trying to force the error. But eventually the ball comes out the back door and Warrington just trundle the ball forward up to the 30-metre line. 10 minutes remaining. Chris Riley taking the ball up. And Warrington just needs to just calm it down. But they could really do with a try. If Warrington score now, then that really is game over. So they need to just look for that break. As we enter the last 10 minutes here, is Vinnie Anderson who pops the ball out, and Salford regain possession. Luke Adamson. And they just can't get rid of this Salford side. Phil Lulai just drives the ball in over the halfway line. Salford are just trying to set up a tense finish. See Smith to Ian Sibbett. Michael Monaghan just coming out of the line, just trying to force the error. Olker, Ryan Boyle. Ryan Boyle just looking for support, but he can't quite find it. He's wrapped up. 35 metres away. Sneed. So Littler with a kick through, but surely that's it. Richie Mathers should get hold of this. Mathers just dives under the tackle. Very clever play on a Warrington fullback who's had a really good game. And Chris Riley just trying to bring the ball out. And time's running out for the Salford City Reds as Matt King brings the ball up, and the Warrington side are just trying to catch the Salford City Reds offside. Lee Mitchell just gets brought down. Michael Monaghan, I see, has gone off. So I wonder what's wrong with the Aussie hooker. It's Lee Breers with a long hanging kick. Great kick. Just turns the Salford defence, and at least it takes Warrington up to the 20-metre line inside the Salford City Reds half, which is exactly where Warrington need to be at this stage in proceedings. It's not been the cakewalk which Warrington perhaps were expecting this afternoon, or this evening I should say. Warrington have certainly not been at their best. Salford have been spirited without being outstanding. And tiredness has kicked in. Their exploits last week at Odsal, as I said, with Salford with a week off. That's probably evened things up slightly. But Warrington are edging towards victory now. 7.5 minutes remaining at the Willows. Matty Smith with a kick over the top, just looking to create something. But Chris Bridge does very, very well, even though he is wrapped up eventually. Penalty. Tackled once, you can't tackle him again. As twilight comes over the Willows ground here, you see the high-rise buildings of Manchester and Salford in the background. And it looks like Warrington are going to take the 2 points away from this larger metropolis back to the smaller town of Warrington, but there's no doubt who has the greater rugby league side. And let's hope Warrington can build from this and build their league form. The league form suffered last year when the cup run came into play. Inconsistency came into the Warrington mindset, and let's hope that that doesn't happen this year, and I'm sure Tony Smith won't allow it to. And Warrington looking to finish this game off now with Simon Griggs. He makes it up to 12 metres away. Centre field. Mickey Hyam. Chris Bridge looking for a deepness of play, and Richie Mathers looking for his hat-trick. Is that a penalty? No, get up, says the referee. 5th tackle. Bridge, little kick through, looking for a run. Oh, and it's just too long. Fans think they've got that down, but they haven't. And it was nowhere near it, to be honest. Sneed with a drop in. Just under 6 minutes remaining. Matt King, absolutely fantastic. Not illegally, just coming round the man, making a tackle. Phil Lulai, Mark Henry. And Sneed just dropping off a couple of tackles. 40-20 attempt again by Matty Smith. And it's going to happen again. And it is, it's another 40-20. Another 40-20. Is it? No, it's not. I apologise. I thought it had gone over the 20, but it hasn't. It's a 40-30. And it'll be scrum down head and feet to the Warrington Wolves. Referee takes time off with less than 5 minutes remaining. And Warrington look like they're going to wrap these 2 points up, if not convincingly. That ball comes out, says the referee, even though the scrum was still half in. Chris Hicks takes the ball forward. Up over the 30-metre line. And Warrington are just doing the basics now, just to see this game out. Simon Griggs, who's had a good game for Warrington. Not spectacular, he's worked hard, done the hard work for the Warrington team. Vinny Anderson again, who's also had a good game, and another high tackle. There's been a few of these in the game today. Not quite sure why that is. 3 or 4 very high shots. Wasn't malicious, it was just a off-the-shoulder job. Nothing for the referee to worry about, and Lee Breers will kick this into touch. And Warrington looking to finish matters off in style with Ryan Atkins down the left-hand centre channel. Just looking to find a way in the corner. 6 metres away. Vinny Anderson just straightens up, looks to use his strength to get over, but just held up on the line. Oh, and that's going to be a try, is it? It is, and that's the game breaker. Mickey Hyam going in from dummy half, as he does so well. And that's game, set and match to the Warrington Wolves. Conversion by Chris Bridge. Making a scoreline 23 points to 10, and that's the end of matters here at the Willows. What's been a testing evening for the Warrington Wolves has ended up with victory. Not without its worries and its scares, but a victory nonetheless, and Mickey Hyam doing what he does really well, scooting from dummy half as he just did a couple of seconds ago to score the try. Goes again and finds the markers not square and wins the penalty very cleverly for the Warrington Wolves. That's where he's worth his weight in gold, Mickey Hyam. And Warrington are looking to just finish this in a bit of style now as Vinnie Anderson takes the ball up over the 20. 17 metres away here, Warrington, just looking to finish this off with a flourish in the last minute and 50 seconds remaining. So it's not been easy. But eventually Warrington have found themselves victorious. Did they get the ball over? No, says the referee. Ryan Atkins just trying to dive over into the last half minute. Warrington have scored again. David Solomona barges his way through from a metre away to finish things off in style for Warrington. And the final kick of the game, Chris Bridge drifts the kick towards the post. He misses. The hooter has gone. 27 points to 10 in favour of the Warrington Wolves. Victorious again here at the Willows. Warrington Wolves, 2 points in the Engage Super League. Just slips again on the turf, and I think the wetness on top of the surface is making a difference here. Lee Breers, long pass out to Chris Bridge. Chris Bridge to Richie Mathers. Room on the outside. Chris Hicks comes back on the inside. Try for the Warrington Wolves. He was trying to draw the men in, but doesn't. It's a real opportunity, 8 metres away from the Salford City Reds line. Richie Mathers comes back the blind side and looks to go himself, and Richie Mathers will score for Warrington. Really good try. Salford just kicked the ball over the top, and there's a chance here. And the ball comes to Mark Henry, and Mark Henry scores. That's fantastic play by the big man. Breers, Louis Anderson, Ryan Atkins to Chris Riley. Chris Riley, pass on the inside, pass to Richie Mathers. Mathers with his second try. Just closing off all opportunities. Deeper to Matty Smith. Luke Swain to Willie Talau. Jody Broughton. Broughton scores. Strength to get over, but just held up on the line. Oh, and that's going to be a try, is it? It is, and that's the game breaker. But eventually Warrington have found themselves victorious. Did they get the ball over? No, says the referee. Ryan Atkins just trying to dive over into the last half minute. Warrington have scored again.